Okay, it is Thursday, June 1st, and this is going to be our beginning of the month garden update. This will be our end of May, beginning of June garden update. And so the squash is still looking pretty good. It's still making squash. The ones down this end and the squash over here are starting to look yellow, and we can't decide if maybe, I mean, it's rained every day here for about the past 5 days, which is great, I'm not complaining, but we think this one may be getting too wet where it is, or either the squash borers have gotten into the stem, but I don't see any sign of them, so maybe it's just too wet where this one is. And this one's a little yellow, but the rest are still looking pretty good, and we're still getting squash, so still tickled over it. Let's see. We have, let me take you over here and show you our eggplant. The eggplant plants are still beautiful, still looking healthy, and we are starting to see not only our blooms, but we have eggplant. There are 1, 2, and then a little one through there if you can see that. So 3 on this plant, and swing around to this plant, and there's a pretty one on this one. We should have eggplant hopefully within a week, maybe less. But these plants are healthy and pretty, still have lots of blooms and little eggplants. Over here on this one, we have our eggplant growing in buckets this year. There's a pretty one coming on. There's 1, 2, and 3 back behind there. So eggplant are looking good. I'm ready for some fried eggplant. Okay, and ooh, we have, as a backup here and along the strip out that way, we have more squash mounds planted, so hopefully when those that we've been getting squash off of play out, we'll have, these will start to come on, hopefully. That's the plan. We have this broccoli still planted in the shade, and it's still not doing anything yet, but we're not giving up on it. The plants look healthy and pretty. So maybe we'll get some broccoli at some point. We'll see. So this is one squash mound. In these mounds, these 4 here in the center, we have planted sugar baby watermelon, and we got a good stand of that that's come up. We'll have to go through and thin it, but we love to get a few little watermelon. And then this is another squash mound, another squash mound, and then a third on the end down there. And the squash actually seems to do fairly well in the shadier areas of the yard, so we're going to give it a go down here in the shade. And this is something I don't think I've shown in a while. Our fruit trees grow along the back edge, the edge closest to the road, and our peach tree is going bananas. It is hanging with peaches like crazy, and they're turning beautiful peach color. They're still really, really firm and small, but I'm hoping they'll swell. But this is only the 2nd year for these peach trees. So, I mean, some big, pretty peaches. All up and down. I haven't counted, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, about 20 to 25 peaches on this one tree. This is only our 2nd year. Last year we got a peach off this tree and a peach off the other tree. I'll show you in a second. But this one I'm really tickled with. Hopefully the peaches will ripen. I guess they will. I mean, they look like they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's what they did last year, just with many, many fewer peaches. And I think it's already aborted. I mean, like, a bunch of them never grew. They just shriveled up. So I think it kind of culled what it needed to cull early on. So we should have peaches. Woohoo. Let me take you over and show you this other peach tree. This is a cherry tree, and no cherries we've spotted on yet. So we didn't really anticipate fruit this early. It'd been a pleasant surprise if we get it, but didn't expect it. And this peach tree, and we got a peach tree off of this one last year too. And these peaches are very different looking than the others. Maybe they're just not quite as far along, but they're looking healthy and pretty. So I think we'll get peaches this year. It's only the second year of having these trees planted. Really tickled. I had no idea peaches would even do this well here. So tickled over this. Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off and go over to the other section of the garden. Back in a second. We have 2 apple trees planted. This is one of them. And we have an apple. 1. Yay! That's cool. Better than last year. We got 0 last year. So coming along. Still has blooms. And 1 apple. This is our other apple tree. And it has no apples. But that's okay. We didn't expect any anyway. So this is our plum tree, and no fruit at all off of it. 2 years running now. Last year we had 1 plum, but as it started to get ripe, it disappeared. So we figure a bird got it. This year, no plums. But it's only 2nd year in, so that's okay. Come over to our pear tree, and it is still looking pretty good. It's got a bunch of little pears. I don't know if you can see them. See, there's one. There's one. There's one. It has several pears. And we got a lot of pears off of this last year, so I'm hoping it'll do a repeat of performance. Looks pretty good so far. Alright, and below this pear tree, we have cabbage trying to head. It's getting eaten up with bugs, but we're trying to keep an eye on it. But the cabbage looks like it may actually do something under this tree. Looking really pretty. We have more eggplant. They don't look near as healthy as the ones over there in buckets, but they're coming along. And you get out here and pull the oak trees out from under this. But I was pleased with how well the cabbage looks like it's doing over here. And cabbage. And this eggplant's starting to show out. It's got a bunch of blooms on it, so we may get some eggplant out from over here too. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you over here is our blueberry bush. And it's hanging with blueberries. But they're not ready to pick yet. They look beautiful and they look like they should be ready, but they're not. I picked one and it turned my mouth inside out. So we're going to give them a few more days to sweeten up if the birds don't get them. And strangely, the birds aren't messing with them as bad this year as they did last year. So we may get to eat some. Blueberries looking pretty good. This row of green beans, I think, is about done. We're probably going to have to suck it up and pull them and replant pretty soon. But it has a few little blooms here and there, but the foliage is starting to look poor and very few little beans on them. They're not producing like they were, so I'm going to give up on this row before long. Our aromas are still looking good. Everything's still ripening. Got a bunch that are turning. A bunch of tomatoes turning. A bunch that haven't even begun to turn. So still have real high hopes for the harvest from these aromas. Here's a cluster of pretty orange ones down here. Haven't quite. We're trying to let them get really red because we want them sweet for when we make our. We want to try to make ketchup. So trying to let them stay on as long as possible. As long as the birds don't find them. We're going to let them go ahead and turn red out here. Here's a pretty red one. Again, still hanging in big, huge, lovely clusters of green ones. Okay, green beans still doing well. Have 4 rows of green beans right here. 1, 2, that row. These 2 rows, this row and this row, are older. and they're starting to taper down quite a bit. We're still getting beans off of them, but not as many as we were. These 2 rows are newer planted rows, and we're getting a good number of beans off of these. I'm sorry, these 3 rows. There's one here, and then one in the middle, and then one on this outer edge, and we're still getting good pickings off of it. I'm scheduled to pick it again tomorrow. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a nice picking tomorrow. Beans everywhere. Cool. Oh yeah, they're hanging. Love it. What did I see? Pretty big clusters of beans. So I'll pick these tomorrow. These are our pink eye purple whole peas, and they're starting to look healthier. They look kind of pitiful for a while. I was worried about them, but they're looking healthier now. Nowhere near getting ready to pick, but the plants are looking healthy. Okay, this is our okra we transplanted into this bed, and it's looking really healthy still. Not showing any signs of making okra yet, but the plants are looking nice and healthy. Strawberries are enormous. They're not bearing much now. We're still getting an occasional berry here and there, but they're starting to send off their runners, making their baby plants. So I'm going to start catching these. We have a new project I want to do with the babies that come off these this year. So I'm going to get some cups and start catching these babies for another area I want to plant strawberries. But they send out these runners that have the plants. You can see they're already sending out their little roots. And they'll send out multiple ones. Here's another one forming on the end of this runner. And we still have berries. I need to pick these today. But babies everywhere. Got lots of babies together. That'll be a big project. Fun project to start on next. Still have pretty berries. Lots of runners. When I start catching them, I'll show you how I do that. That's how I got this whole bed started, though, off that plant I told you about in the container in the middle. It kept sending out babies, and I'd catch them and plant them, and then the next year the mother and the babies would send out babies, and I'd catch them, and we filled up this whole bed off of that one plant. There's a big pretty strawberry. Strawberries look real healthy and nice. Expect a good harvest from them next year. We kind of gave them 1 year to grow. Alan's harvesting our last row of carrots. Looks like we're getting a nice harvest for the day. These are all he picked today. Get these cleaned up and weigh them in here in a minute. There's some more. There's some more strawberries down here. Ooh, bunch of big pretty ones in here. Rolly Polies haven't gotten to them too bad yet. I need to get out here and pick these things. Rolly Polies had a picnic with this one. I actually have a lot on here. I need to, gotta get out and pick. Here's our other row of green beans, and it's scheduled to be picked again tomorrow. They still look a little young, but should get some tomorrow. They're looking nice. Tomato. I kicked this plant label up. And on this row we have, these are tequila sunrise peppers, and which is kind of a mixed bag on this row again. There's a cabbage, red Marconi, great big red Marconi peppers, little pitiful cabbage, and then some broccoli. This cabbage is looking pretty nice. Trying to head. There's a nice head on this one. Yep. Alright, so kind of a little mixed bag on this row. Everything looking good. Here are some sunflowers on this end. Got a nice little blooming sunflower patch. and show you the cucumbers again. They've gotten a good bit bigger since the last time I showed them. Cucumbers are crawling. We're getting decent harvest each day. Not as many as I think we'll get later, but good little harvest of them. Enough to have a little cucumber snack. And they're looking healthy and pretty and still blooming well. I hope they do well because I want to make enough cucumbers to be able to put up some dill pickles. We've run out of dill pickles and we like them, so I need to put up some more. Okay, and here is our first planting of corn, and it's looking pretty tall and nice. It's already tasseled. It's starting to release the pollen, and let me get down. Yeah, I'm starting to silk. Here's some that are silking. Let me see. Let me go down through this corn jungle with you. And there's one stretch through here. It has a bunch of ears. There's some. Ooh, smells sweet through here. And here's several ears beginning to form. Ears starting to form. And I'm standing up with the camera about chin level, and you can see it's well taller than I am, and I'm 5'8", so good little stand of corn. Here's the little patch where the ears look nice. Through here, they're even starting to swell a little. We've got silks, we have tassels, so we should have all the ingredients for some corn, some good sweet corn this year. This is Silver Queen sweet corn. Hope we get some corn. We planted the other side of the garden in corn last year, and we didn't get any. I mean, next to nothing. So we planted it back on the side where we've had success with corn in the past again. So hopefully we'll get some this year. All right, I'm going to turn it off and go show you our other little patch of corn. Okay, and this is our other patch of corn we planted about 2 weeks later. So I can kind of try to get both in the view. This is the younger patch of corn, and then off in the background you can see the older corn. You can tell it's well ahead of this corn, but hopefully give us a little stagger planting of corn. And it looks like it's doing really well. It's good and healthy. Look at the tomatoes on this sucker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hanging with pretty tomatoes. When all these start to turn, we should have plenty of tomatoes. Alright, let me come back over here to this row of Romas. I saw some pretty color here just a minute ago. Let me see. Here we go. Got a bunch starting to turn. We picked some earlier that were about this red, and we left them in the window, but you know, I just don't see any reason. The birds aren't messing with them right now for some reason, so as long as we can let them vine ripen, I want to let them get as sweet and ripe on the vines as possible. We're starting to get some nice color. There's some. There's a whole bunch turning. Looking pretty. Whole bunch through here turning. Ooh, yeah. Right here. Looking good. Oops. Right here looking good. Just trying to pan through. Remind me to go slow. Here's a whole big pretty cluster. So it's still not terribly warm. It's getting up to 90 during the days, 88, 89, 90. So I think as it warms up, these will start to speed up with getting ripe. There's a bunch. Ooh, there's some good pretty ones under there. Anyway, Romas still look like they're doing well. I'm very pleased with how they've done this year. So that's the Romas, the other row of Romas. This is the other area. We planted okra where we dug up the Swiss chard to put around in the front bed, and we planted okra here. And it's a little pitiful looking. I'm hoping it'll come on. It's not as impressive as that in that bed where we planted it, but maybe it'll catch up. Doesn't look super healthy. May just be having more trouble transitioning, I don't know. Here's our chard. It still looks great. We're still eating off the chard plants. So I've been real pleased with our chard this year. It's still doing well. I have no intention of getting rid of it anytime soon until it just gives up. It's gorgeous. All different kinds. And our lacinato kale in here, still looking good. It's starting to look a little bug eaten, but not to the point where I'm willing to get rid of it yet. Alright, and this is our little sunflower patch, the Titan sunflowers. And here's the other ones, these ginormous things. I think we've decided to help hold them up. We're going to get a strap to go across the front, like a seatbelt strap type material, just something wide that won't, cut into the plant, and strap them from one edge of the wall to the other edge of the wall, and then tie them individually to the strap to hold them upright. So hopefully that'll help, because I'm afraid they're leaning. Let me get a shot from the side. They're leaning out because they were planted kind of up under the eave of the house, so they're leaning out to get sun. So I'm afraid once they get big heavy heads on them, they'll just topple right on over. So we're going to strap them up. I'll show that when we decide exactly what we're going to do. We started picking this morning before I realized it was June 1st and I wanted to do an update video. But these are the pretty ripe tomatoes we picked, and the cucumbers and the squash. And we were about to pick these tequila sunrise peppers because we got some pretty orange peppers. Let me show these. They're finally starting to turn. So we're going to pick all the orange peppers and cook them today. See how they taste. Look how pretty. The plants are still tiny, but hey, the peppers look healthy, so go away. Pretty, pretty. These red Marconis are still freakishly huge and not showing any color. So I'm waiting. I can wait them out. I can be patient. We've got other peppers we can eat. We're eating on the jalapenos, and we're fixing to eat the tequila sunrise. I'm going to let this sucker sit here till it decides to turn red. It's huge. And I think this one is either turning red. Oh, it is. Yesterday I couldn't decide if it was turning red or if it was starting to rot. But I believe that's red. So we got one that's showing some color. Cool. Again, these Marconis are just huge and hanging. Very prolific pepper. Marconis. Alright, these are I'm across the garden. I'll show you the jalapenos in a minute. Let's see. Those are more Marconis there. Our Lola Rosa, we're still letting go to seed. Watching it. Looks like it's starting to. We'll go through it later. It's been so wet. I think it needs to dry out before we start trying to harvest. We'll leave it alone, let it dry. Alright. And over here, these are a few cauliflower plants. We're just not willing to give up on them, but I'm seeing no signs at all of them trying to do a cauliflower head. I mean, none. So, not willing to pull them yet, but they're not doing anything. The broccoli is still making lots of beautiful little florets, and the plants are still healthy looking. So we get florets about every day, and they're great in stir fries, and mix them with the stir fried with the stewed squash, and we use them, and they're delicious. So we're just going to let them keep on doing this for as long as they want to. We still have our sweet potatoes planted under them. Here they are, and they're doing fine. And we have peppers tucked up under that. Oh man, yeah, got some pretty broccoli. Yep. Yep, so we're just going to leave it. And this is about all we got going on, I think. I'm not going to show you the front bed because I just showed that. I'll show you that again later. But yeah, we've got lots of broccoli going on here. We're going to have that for lunch today. Lots of pretty broccoli. Alright, cool. Well, that's about it. We've got corn, tasseling and silken. We're getting ripe tomatoes every day. We're picking squash every day. We're getting peppers every day. And we've got pretty sunflowers that aren't even starting to open yet. The big ones that I'm waiting on. The other ones, we've got little blooming sunflowers everywhere, but they're small. I doubt they'll even make seeds. I don't know why exactly, but I have high hopes for those over there. Alright, I think that's it. Thanks for watching.